Hi guys, it's Tasha and I'm back with another floral tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a mix of our white art gel, number 109 gel polish, and we're going to mix those together to create a custom shade. And then we're going to go back in and we're going to add some clear acrylic powder and some no wipe top coat. What the acrylic is going to do is it's going to help thicken up the gel a little bit, so we'll be able to build it up slightly. And the no wipe is going to make it so that we don't have to cleanse anything after. So once the design is done and cured, it's going to stay nice and shiny over the matte nail that we're going to do. So you'll notice I keep adding a little bit of acrylic at a time, and I keep adding it until it kind of creates this gritty gel here that you'll see in just a moment. We don't want it too thick though, because we don't want to throw off the proper ratio and make sure that everything is cured properly and holds up well. But you can see there it's a little bit gritty, but it still self-levels. Now we are taking the ever so teeny tiny detailer brush, and I'm starting to create the petals and the bud of the rose. So I always start in the middle, kind of with a little like C or backward C shape. That one almost looks like a shrimp. But that creates the bud in the center, and then I work outward. I don't really have a rhyme or reason. I think I got kind of into a rhythm when I was doing these. I started in the center always, and then I kind of would do the left petal and then the right petal, and then I would do a larger one down below. And you'll see as I go along here, sometimes I'll add more petals. It just depends on how big I'm making them and where I think needs some space filled in. I did look online for different hand-drawn roses. Roses have always kind of been a challenge for me. They usually look like flowers, not necessarily roses, but these ones look as close to roses as I could possibly do. So Google is your best friend for looking at reference photos. Usually I'll just look up how to draw roses simply, or rose outlines or something like that, and a lot of different reference photos will come up. So I'm just applying this gel mixture that we've mixed pretty thin, because we want to make sure it cures properly, first of all. And then second of all, we're actually going to go back once we've got our design completely laid down and cured, and we're going to add a second layer to make it embossed. So here I am, I'm just doing 4 main roses, and then in a couple clips coming up, we're actually going to go back in and we're going to add some stems on some of them and some leaves to fill everything in. So this nail will be completely covered. So this nail that I'm doing is heavily inspired by mnnail_AR on Instagram. I'll put their Instagram name up now for you guys to check them out. They do some really beautiful work, and I thought that this set that they did would be a really pretty twist on something for Valentine's Day. So I wanted to recreate their rose nail because I fell in love with it, and show you guys how I attempted to do it. I'm not too sure if they have a tutorial on their page or not, but I wanted to give credit to them because they totally inspired me for this. I just thought I'd mention it's a good idea to flash cure these petals after you do a few, just to make sure that everything is held in place. I am quite clumsy when I'm working, and I sometimes can get carried away and smudge stuff, so I always flash cure a little bit in between each petal. So now you guys see me laying down my first leaf, and I'm making sure not to make this too perfectly shaped. I like it jagged in some areas and pointy in some areas. This just adds more interest and makes it look slightly more realistic. I know we're not going for a realistic look with this necessarily, but I like the look of the leaves a little bit better when they are more jagged. It just doesn't look as cartoony or bubbly, I guess. So I'm just adding a couple stems here and there, and then I'm going to fill in the rest of the nail with varying sizes of leaves. So you could very well leave it at this stage once you've got the nail filled with your design. You don't have to go back and emboss it anymore if you choose not to. It already is going to be slightly raised, but I wanted to emboss it a little bit more. So you guys are going to see me finish up laying down my leaves here. I'm going to do a full cure, and then in the upcoming clip I'm going to start going back over my design with a little bit more gel and starting to emboss the design a little bit more. So here we are starting to emboss our first rose. The key when you are going to be embossing something is to not pull the product out as far as the bottom layer, if that makes sense. You kind of want to keep it more in the center. Obviously bring it out to the outer edge a little bit, but if you completely go over exactly how the bottom layer is, it can tend to become wider and wider, and we still want space in between those petals and leaves, etc. So trying to keep most of the product in the center of each section and just gently pull it out. I hope that made sense. If it doesn't, you can always ask me questions, send me a message. I'm happy to help. So once you've embossed that final area of your nail, you're going to put it in the lamp for a full final cure, and then your textured rose nail is complete. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you do end up recreating a look like this, please tag me on Instagram. I always love to see your recreations. And until next time, take care.